What's up, everybody? Last week I covered the new SMG from Season 4 of Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2, the ISO 45. I've been taking a little while to cover the other weapon, the new AR, the Tempus Razorback, because it's not very good. It doesn't really fit into the long-range meta. It doesn't really fit as a sniper support. It just kind of doesn't really have a place. If you want to use it, it's probably viable enough. If you're good enough, you can use it, but you're going to be losing a lot of fights that you would win otherwise. And as usual, we're going to go through loadouts. We'll go through a long-range loadout as well as a sniper support loadout. And then we'll go to true game data to kind of show you where it fits in the meta and talk about it a little more statistically. But let's go ahead and jump into the loadouts. So if you want to try this out for yourself, which I wouldn't recommend, you can go ahead and try it out. But let's jump over the loadout screen. Okay, and starting off with the long-range loadout, as with most of the time, we're using the Harbinger, however you say it, the Harbinger muzzle. The tuning is going to look like plus 1.08 on the towards recoil smoothness and plus 0.81 towards the bullet velocity. Then we're going to use the 18-inch TAC 2L barrel. There's also the option for the 17-inch barrel, which has that built-in optic on it, but with the visual recoil that you get in this game, that 4 times magnification is really painful to deal with, and so it's just not worth using, even with the built-in optic and saving an attachment slot. And then when you look at the 18-inch, you get damage range and movement speed somehow with the biggest barrel, but you don't get damage range with the 16-inch barrel, and it also hurts your movement speed. And so we end up going with the 18-inch, which also actually increases your hipfire accuracy, but that doesn't really matter for a range build. Then we have the Aftech Ripper. Let me go barrel tuning. Sorry about that. The barrel tuning for recoil steadiness is going to be plus 0.16 towards recoil steadiness and plus 0.09 towards damage range. The tuning on this gun's kind of also. And then we have the Aftech Ripper like we do for most long-range builds, with a tuning of plus 0.46 towards recoil stabilization and plus 0.13 towards aiming idle stability. You could go aim down sight speed. It's not as important in a ranged gun, so I go with the recoil stabilization, especially when you look at the ISO had no recoil at all when that was in the meta. The Lockman 5.56 has very little recoil, and that's probably the meta AR for most people now. And then you go with the 60 round mag. You could go with the 45. If you're playing solos, you could go with the 45. This gun kind of just tickles, so even in duos, I would probably recommend the 60, but you could probably make the 45 also work in duos and take less of an ADS penalty, a little faster reload. And then, of course, optic is up to you. I like the SZ SR07 optic. I just don't like the aim op. The SZ SR07 actually has a little bit more magnification and the same ADS penalty, so I personally like it more. I don't tune the eye position. I just like the eye position the way it is. But the aim down sight speed is tuned to negative 2.61. I'm not really worried about flinch resistance on an AR. That's more of a sniper thing. So that's the long range build. And then let's go ahead and look at the sniper support build. Just give me 1 second. Okay, and so now we have the sniper support build loaded in. And this is actually from Warzone loadout.games. They are my go-to when I don't really know a starting point. I go to them a lot. The long-range loadout was all me from day one of having this gun leveled up. This sniper support is from Warzone loadout.games. I'll go ahead and link them down below if you want to go and check out their website. It's a pretty useful website when you're just looking for builds for guns. But anyways, the muzzle here is being switched to the VLK Kala's Flash Hider. Just because it's not much of an aim down sight penalty. You get muzzle flash concealment, which isn't like a silencer where it keeps you off the map completely, but it does reduce your time on the map, and then you get some recoil help with it as well, without much ADS penalty. So Kala's Flash Hider for the muzzle. The tune is going to be negative 0.68 towards aim down sight speed and plus 0.28 towards gun kick control. Definitely for a sniper support build, you want to focus on aim down sight speed for sure. And then the laser is actually different. They have the Schlager box because it's not visible to enemies, but whatever. If you don't want visible to enemies, go with that. But I still stick with the FSS OLEV laser. It's the same as that 7 milliwatt laser. It's the equivalent laser with an aim down sight speed tuning of negative 0.39 and an aim down sight speed. Sprint to fire speed is negative 0.39. Aim down sight speed negative 29.61. Then we have the 60 round mag again. Since this is going to be used up close, maybe consider the 45 round mag just because the ADS penalty. But once again, that is a personal preference. There's fairly clean iron sights here, so you could switch iron sights with something like an underbarrel, frangible ammo, something else. You could even consider like this 13-inch barrel for aim down sight speed and hip fire. Recoil control instead of an optic, because the iron sights are very clean, but because it's a sniper support and we might have to use it a little further out than just SMG range, I do like having an optic on it. I personally like the Slimline Pro. Is another deviation from the the Cronin Mini Pro is what Warzone Loadout.games had, but optics are always personal preference. Tuning, once again, I keep eye position the same, and then aim down sight speed is a negative 0.39. And then finally is the Cassis X rear grip, which once again was from Warzone Loadout.games. It's for sprint to fire and aim down sight speed. The FLT 22 does give you slightly better sprint to fire and aim down sight speed, but the Cassis doesn't have the flinch resistance penalty, and it's not much of a difference. And then you go to the tune, it's negative 0.71 for aim down sight speed, and sprint to fire speed is negative 0.30. So those are the two loadouts. I don't really think either one's super great. I personally prefer the long range loadout, but you can use it as a sniper support as well, which is probably where it fits better, but I prefer to use the Chimera or just the ISO 45 for the SMG. But if you just wanted loadouts, those are the loadouts. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and jump over to true game data, look at it statistically. But if this is all you needed, I really do appreciate you spending any time on my YouTube channel. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe and that notification bell. Throw me a like if you feel like it, but let's go jump over to true game data. Okay, starting off on true game data, we have it compared to the long-range AR meta. No LMGs here. People aren't really using LMGs, even though I think there's a case for at least one of them. Maybe that's a future video. We don't know. But we have the Lachman 5.56, the M13B, the STB 5.56, the M4, and then, of course, the Tempus Razorback. So let's go ahead and just look at TTK here. This is to the chest, but you can see the Lachman 5.56 actually isn't that good until you really start getting into AR range, and then depending on where you are at the range, it's middle tier or second best. It's only the best for a very short range from 64 meters to 76 meters, but that's not what we're here to talk about. Look at the Tempus Razorback here, the yellow line. It's actually not even the best sniper support. The STB is better. The M4 is better from a long-range standpoint. It's not even the best up close. It doesn't really have any shine on it at all until right before its first drop-off in between this 36-meter range and this 41-meter range. It doesn't really have any shine there at all because it's just getting beat by stuff, and then it quickly doesn't have shine on again. And then if we're getting to the real long ranges, once you get to 62 meters, which is extremely possible as always in a long range fight, then it's just losing to all of these guns. And even in your mid range where we're looking at 41 to 62 here, it's for the most part not beating out anything except for the M4, and the M4 destroys it in the longer ranges. So it's not really fitting there in the long range meta, unfortunately. Doesn't really have a home there. Well, what about sniper support? So we look at sniper support here. We don't have it compared against 5 guns, but we have the Chimera, and I threw the STB in here because you saw the STB was a pretty good sniper support on that last graph. Chimera is the king AR sniper support. And then the ISO 45, it's got the best range of the SMGs. It's got the best time to kill. The Vaznev is not the best SMG sniper support. Let's go to compare it here. This time the Tempus Razorback being in red. And oh no, would you look at that? It's also not a good sniper support. Nowhere compared to these weapons. The Chimera actually even beating out the ISO up close. Not when you include sprint to fire time. But that was covered in my ISO video if you want to check that out. Link is down below. But the Tempus Razorback getting absolutely smacked until guns start to drop off. And then it's even to the STB until the Tempus Razorback, which does have a very long first damage range, finally drops off at 28 meters. And it actually is kind of good within this 20 to 30 meter-ish range. But where sniper support is going to be very important, that inside 20 meters, it's losing out or tying everything. And it's not going to be very good as a sniper support, and so it doesn't really have a role. If you were going to give it a role, I would probably say sniper support, maybe long range so you can get into cover when you're losing your gunfight, but it's just not a very good weapon. Hopefully it sees a buff in the future, but that's all I got for you. I really do appreciate you spending any time with here. If you want to see me using guns on live, you want to propose that I try something out that maybe I'm not thinking of, link is down below for Twitch. Please feel free to check me out there. Say hello. All my other socials are going to be linked down below, so please feel free to check those out. Along with that, I will have True Game Data and WarzoneLoadout.games linked down below, so please check them out. This video was made a lot more possible through those two websites. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos, including maybe that LMG that I'm talking about. Maybe I'll finally do a loadout video for the first time in a long time, but you won't know first unless you hit that notification bell. And let me know down in the comments what you think of the Tempus Razorback. You know what I think. Let me know what you think. But I will see you on Vondel and in Ranked. Get frying. Have a good day.